What's going on, Quantum Nation? Welcome back. My name is Quantum, and today we're going to be talking about this guy right here. This is an HDMI sync box that the guys over at, I want to say, Loico sent over. Sorry if I butchered that. Now, the importance of me showing this particular product off is because we're always talking about HDMI sync boxes here, and we want to know how it compares to the Philips Hue and Govee and Lightme Neo and all this stuff, and we're always looking for like a sub $100 challenger. And so when they hit me up in the email and they were like, yo, would you like to review our product? I was like, of course, sure, why not? Let's see it. Now, full disclaimer here, this is one of those things I always talk about where it's like, I'm going to review the product, I get to keep the product, no money changed hands, and I will be doing an organic, honest review. Zero conflict of interest. As you'll see, you'll hear about the negatives and the positives of this device, and hopefully they can fix some of the negatives maybe on a future iteration. But either way, we're going to talk about what they did right. So smack a like on this video for transparency, because we're getting to the point right now. The short answer, I really liked this device a lot more than I thought I was going to. Now, that might sound weird at first, but initially when you have HDMI sync boxes, like they all kind of do something similar. So you're always trying to find a way to stand out when you're an HDMI sync box. And I think what's unique about this one is it's not necessarily that it offers a ton of versatility. In fact, you only can hook up one device, which means you're going to need an HDMI switch. So I found myself looking at the design a lot, and I like that they have the diffusers over the LEDs, where I've even had from Lightme Neo and some other companies, it just doesn't feel as nice and as luxurious. Being able to see through and see the cheap LEDs, I just didn't really like that as much. Where I know the 2.0 version is a lot better. I think it may be even the 2.1 of Lightme Neo. I don't know. I'm believing they're on the 2.0 version, but you get what I'm saying. Like some of the other light kits on the market don't kind of give you the diffuser over it to hide the LEDs, to make it look more premium, right? Kind of in line with what we would see from Philips Hue, which is like, of course, $500 plus. So, you know, not everybody wants to spend that on a light kit. But this, I was blown away by like how well it matched up against the Philips Hue. Like I'm going through scene after scene after scene, and it just does such a good job of like just looking incredible. And I like that like in the unboxing process, it's pretty much straightforward. Like everything's laid out exactly where you need it. You know where you've got to go. And I think for me, the part that like I didn't like so much though is like when you really start putting it together, you've got to watch their video on their YouTube channel to kind of help you through it. To be honest though, Philips Hue was the same way. Maybe I'm just bad at these kinds of things, but I mixed up the direction on where you've got to plug in some things, so it can be confusing as to where you plug in things. So again, just watch the video that they literally have on their website, and you'll be freaking golden. Like, I don't know why I didn't do that sooner. It would have made my life so much easier, right? But yeah, no, I think in terms of quality though, that's the part where I was really shocked. Like, I was expecting this to be like meh, run-of-the-mill, like not a whole lot like going on. Typically with sub $100 light kits that we've seen, they haven't really broken the mold, but this really shocked me. It's crazy vibrant. That for me was a shock, because we usually don't get that kind of vibrancy out of these kits. And then on top of that, it's hitting accuracy points like nobody's business, and I would argue it's a dead ringer for like second place next to Philips Hue in terms of like how good and how accurate things can be. Skin tones don't really get misread like it would on Govee, and you have yellows being real yellows, blues being real blues, like things like that. Like it just makes for a crazy immersive experience. And I find myself in this position where it's like, you know, everything I'm watching on this thing looked amazing. I spent like the latter part of the day watching like Sailor Moon and like Kung Fu Panda and like, you know, just hanging out with the family, just enjoying it. And I've just blown away by the quality that this device has. Now, some negative points, again, just to kind of balance out what I'm saying here, because again, you can see it on screen and everything that it's obviously a great product, but I want you to know that there are negatives. One negative that is deal breaking for some people: you need two plugs to plug this thing in. It ships with two boxes, so you have to plug both that box and the, you know, secondary box into a plug. So if you're one of those people that don't know surge protectors exist, not being rude, like some people just don't do technology very well and they don't really care about all the wires behind the TV, well, then that might be a little bit of a kind of moment. But just get a surge protector, extend out those plugs, you're good to go. And the same concept applies for anytime you're short on HDMI ports. Get an HDMI switch, and then that'll help you put all the devices you want on it. Though, there is a point to be made here. Based on the kind of HDMI switch you get, you could run into some problems where via pass-through, now the signal isn't as clean, and now you're just losing quality. So of course, these are all valid concerns, which again, it's a weak point to only have one HDMI port on your HDMI sync box. That is like, why would you do that? Come on. But at the same token, if you're somebody like me that really only uses this, like at least the way I'm going to be using this particular one, I'm using it particularly for Blu-ray movies, watching movie time with the family, like that's how I want to use it. So for me, that's going to make the most sense. But if you're somebody that's trying to hook every device up, just get an HDMI switch and you should be good to go. Now, in terms of things I also don't like, this might sound like a petty gripe. I don't like that the wires are like very visibly like white and red. Like I don't like when you can see like the red wiring and things like that. I wish that would have been covered up in some sort of sleeve or something like that to match a home aesthetic a little bit better versus like when you look behind your TV and you see this like weird red wire and black wire or whatever it is. It doesn't look as appealing to me, right? Again, petty gripe, but whatever. Now, another thing that I think is a missed opportunity on this product is when you have the box, the little tiny box that connects to your LEDs, it just kind of dangles down because they don't give you a double-sided 3M tape adhesive to stick it to the back of the TV. Again, not really the best move if you're trying to get people to use this device. Somebody wants a dangling box or have to figure out what to do with it or run out and buy 3M tape on their own. You've got to complete the product. Otherwise, you're going to have a bunch of angry customers. But what really matters at the end of the day is quality, and that is what this thing gives you, and that's ultimately why I'm even bringing it to your attention, because Govee has raised their prices. They're getting arrogant. I'm calling it what it is, okay? And now they're over $149 now. You've got, what is it, Philips Hue. They've always been $500, ridiculously expensive, right? Unless you want to pay that premium, which a lot of people don't, you're not going to have those sync kits that look accurate. And then the other option is Lightme Neo, but they're not exactly cheap either. With this kit goes as low as I believe $95. I've seen it on Amazon, and I believe by the time this video is published, there should be a 20% off code that I'm going to get from the people who sent this box over, so anybody who's just a part of this community can just get another 20% off, like making it super cheap for you guys. Like, that's great. But again, it's important to note that no money changed hands. This is just me being as transparent as I can with you about what this product does and does not offer. But again, I really like this damn thing. Like, I think it's going to be fantastic. And as my future videos go on, anytime you see the Hisense U8G going forward and you see the light kit going off in the back, I know I always get these questions like, Quantum, what is that light kit that you're using? It's going to be the Loico, because it does a great job. It really does. It's just giving me those accurate colors without having to run out and buy Philips Hue. And I'll be very real with you, like 100% transparency. If I knew this existed before I bought, like I recently just bought the Philips Hue Gradient again and gave it a second time or a second chance, and it did great. If I knew that this existed, I probably wouldn't have bought the Gradient, to be very honest with you, because this is a better product in my opinion for my needs. Like, it does a lot more, like especially when the lights go down, right, and you're in a completely dark room, you're hanging out with the family at night, like bro, it's crazy accurate, and that for me was important as all hell. So I think one of the lesser points of view that like I don't really like, I think is like a bit of a downside, is the app is a little generic. They have their own app, but it's not really their own. I've seen this on other like Lightme Neo, and I think it was like BTF or somebody else, that light kit as well. They kind of have a similar interface. That part I really don't like. So I feel like it's just like a generic open source kind of interface for these kind of light kits, which again, I wish it was more custom to their particular product like Philips Hue. So that's the one downside. It's not highly customizable. But another really nice thing is, so long as you set it to sync, and once it starts syncing, just don't stop it from syncing. And then that's it. Anytime you turn it on or turn it off, like literally your source device, your Blu-ray player, whatever it is, the device turns on with the light kit. Like it's beautiful. You don't have to do anything. You turn it off, it goes off. Bro, wonderful, right? Philips Hue is a little bit more cumbersome. You have to go into the menus. You have to dive into, settings to try to make it, to set a behavior for how the light should act when turned off. Where this, it just does it as long as it's syncing, which that's kind of how these things should go. So yeah, that's another really strong thing. So all in all, I think this is a solid like 4-star out of 5-star product. Like, I really genuinely really do recommend it to you guys. I think you will be very happy with it if you do get it, especially if you're just needing like a one-off scenario for like a Blu-ray player. This is like literally perfect for that. Like, and I would recommend this straight up like over Govee. Even though Govee works with everything, there is a major downside to Govee. They are very inaccurate, and even still to this day, I struggle with all of my Govee light kits to get accuracy because skin tones turn pink And yellows aren't really yellow when you're looking at mountainsides, where this is a lot more accurate, and it's under $100, which is huge. So hopefully this brings some value to you, your family, and your lives. And that being said, I want to thank you guys so much for watching the #1 brand in honesty. Till the next video, see you guys later.